What's the most unforgivable thing a nurse ever did? I was 19, working my first job at a grocery store when I started feeling really weird, dizzy and nauseous out of nowhere during my shift. I'd been stocking shelves when suddenly the floor felt like it was tilting. My vision went spotty, and I had to grab the shelf to keep from falling. My manager found me sitting on the floor next to the Cheerios display, head between my knees. He told me to clock out early and see someone about whatever was going on. At urgent care, when they called my name, I explained to the nurse that I was having random dizzy spells and felt like I might throw up. She was maybe in her 40s, with short gray hair and reading glasses hanging from a chain. She took my temperature, said it was normal, and barely made eye contact while typing into her computer. Probably just stress from your new job. Young people always think everything's an emergency, she said, not looking up. First job nerves. Happens all the time. I tried to explain that it felt different, but she was already moving toward the door. She handed me a pamphlet about managing workplace stress. The whole appointment lasted maybe 10 minutes, but it got worse, much worse. The next day, I could barely stand without feeling like the world was spinning violently. Every time I tried to get out of bed, waves of nausea would hit so hard I'd have to crawl to the bathroom. By afternoon, I went back to the same clinic. Same woman, same dismissive attitude. This time I told her I was also having chest pain, and my heart felt like it was racing. She sighed audibly, like I was wasting her time. 120/75, within normal limits, she announced. Listen, honey, she said in that condescending tone people use when they think you're being ridiculous. You're just anxious about work. Stop Googling symptoms and scaring yourself. Take some deep breaths and maybe try yoga. Another pamphlet, this time about anxiety management. Another dismissal. By day 3, I was having trouble breathing and my lips were turning blue. My roommate Sarah took one look at me and grabbed her car keys. We're going to the ER. Now. You look like death. The ER doctor took one look at me and immediately ordered blood tests and an EKG. Within minutes, I was flat on my back with wires attached to my chest. The machine started beeping frantically, and suddenly there were people everywhere. Someone mentioned oxygen levels and D-dimer tests. Turns out I had a massive pulmonary embolism, a blood clot in my lung that could have killed me at any moment. The ER doctor explained that the clot was blocking a major blood vessel and that my body had been slowly suffocating. She said if I'd waited even another day, I probably wouldn't have made it. The next few days were a blur of blood thinners, oxygen masks, and medical terms I'd never heard before. My parents drove down from 3 states away, crying when they saw me hooked up to all those machines. 6 months later, while I was still on blood thinners and dealing with permanent lung damage from the delay in treatment, I got a card in the mail, a cheerful greeting card with flowers on the front. From the clinic. From her. Hi, just wanted to check in and see how your anxiety is going. Remember, deep breathing exercises really do help with those panic attacks. Hope you're managing your stress better now. Maybe you've tried that yoga class I mentioned. I read it 3 times before the absurdity fully hit me. She had no idea. She probably never even looked at my file to see what had actually happened, never bothered to find out that her anxious teenager had nearly died from something completely preventable if caught early. My mom came over that evening, saw the card sitting on my kitchen counter, and just stared at it. Then she carefully picked it up, walked to her car, and came back with a frame. We're keeping this, she said grimly, sliding the card behind the glass. Our lawyer is going to want to see it. The card still sits in that frame in my apartment. A reminder that sometimes the most dangerous thing about being sick isn't the illness itself. It's not being believed.